Hey everyone, welcome to Not Quite Latina.
If you're a Latina who feels like an outcast by your culture,
This podcast is for you.
I'm Vero.
I'm Figgy.
Let's get it.
Wepa!
We're 30 and we're Latina, and when you're 30 and Latina and you don't have kids or a man, that's a problem.
Yep.
That is a huge problem.
Yes,
and
it
everyone will come at you with questions. They'll be looking at you. They'll be assessing you. They'll be talking about you. They'll be stressing you the fuck out. So, Figgy.
Yes, Vero.
Tell me about a moment where someone has made you feel bad about your situation, your love life, your yeah.
Well,
I got you.
I have memories, because it's been more than once, of having my cousins, my female cousins. Of course, you're at the house, barbecue, whatever. You're hanging out with the cousins, and the girls go in one corner, the guys go to the other. We're all drinking our Coronas or whatever, and everybody's venting about their marriages, venting about their kids, venting about their life, and it finally comes to be my turn. Yay!
Oh my god. Yep.
And I don't have kids. And I don't have a man.
Pero tú no tienes hombre.
No.
Tú no tienes un novio ni nada.
No.
Pero, ¿y por qué?
¿Y por qué?
¿Y por qué?
Yeah.
Why don't you? What's wrong with you? What's going on?
And the look you have on your face is the perfect
What's that
description.
look? What is it?
It's confusion mixed with what the fuck mixed with no. This isn't happening. No, that's... Did I hear that? All those thoughts and emotions in that one expression, in that one question. ¿Y por qué? And then I have to be the one to be like, I'm choosing to be single at this moment. Like, I'm choosing to be abstinent. Because for my spiritual growth, for me, that's what I need. And it's like oh my god, no.
They must look at you like you're some fucking granola hippie motherfucker. Like,
girl,
what do you mean?
And it doesn't help that I live in a white neighborhood. Okay? I am an artist.
Oh my god.
That lives in a white hippie neighborhood. To go back to my hood family, that even if they move to the suburbs, still have a hood mentality to a certain degree.
Yeah.
Look at me like, what is wrong with you? And it's not even that they ask the question outright, what's wrong with you? But in the body language and in the confusion, it's just like, how are you part of this family? It's one of those. It's like I start talking my spiritual mumbo jumbo, my woo woo shit. Like, for my energy, I need to just be alone to get my chakras aligned and shit. And they're looking at me like, pero you need dick, honey. Like,
How do you function? I don't understand.
What? You need a man in your life. And I'm looking at them like, but no.
So my experience is, I'm in a relationship, and I've been in this relationship since high school. I'm 30. I'm 13-year relationship, right? Oh, man. So you can only imagine the pressure for me is, okay, you have a man. Why don't you guys have kids? Why aren't you guys married? Why? You know what? At this point, forget the marriage. Like, when are the kids coming?
Damn, so like, that becomes the priority.
Yeah. It's now like, when are the kids coming? Well, because everyone in my family is old. They're getting old, and they're like, we want to see you have kids before I die. Like, you gonna give me kids before I die? Like, this is gonna get really serious. But that's when my father who's passed away, he passed away in the fall, and his thing was, he never asked me about kids or anything. But in his last couple of months, he's like, when are you going to give me a grandson? When are you going to, you know? And I'm getting that from my mom, too, who's battling her own thing with cancer, too. And it's just like the pressure is on. And I'm 30, and I'm still not thinking about kids. Yeah. I'm not in any fucking rush with kids right now.
Yeah.
No rush. And I get it all the time. I get it from my mom. I get it from everybody. I get it from little kids.
Can you please tell us about that?
I'm going to tell you a story about, I was in the Dominican Republic 5 years ago. I was 25 years old, right? 25 for me is still pretty young.
That's a baby in my eyes.
That's a baby. But you go to the Dominican Republic, you're 25 and you don't have any kids. It's like...
You're a grown woman.
You're right. Like, they already had an issue that I was living by myself.
Really?
Yeah, they were like, wait, you're not, like, because for them it was like, you're either living with your family until you're married, and if you're not married, you're supposed to be at home. What are you doing living by yourself?
Yeah, I feel like
and
that's
not married. Yeah.
That's a thing.
So there's that already. And then I'm like, look, I'm just not in a place right now where I'm not even thinking about that. And I'm still at that place at 30 years old. There was a 9-year-old girl who's my cousin's daughter. She's my cousin's daughter. And, you know, she's like the youngest one in the family. So I think she just wanted kids to, like, play with. And she saw that her American family is in town. And she goes up to me. I'm the youngest one in my nucleus of my family, right? She goes up to me and she's like, tú no tienes hijos? Like, you don't have kids I could play with? I was like, no, I'm sorry, honey, I don't. Sorry to disappoint you, you know. I don't have kids. I get it. She was just trying to look for some kids to play with.
Yeah.
She shot at me that look, the look you were talking about, that you've had people come at you with the...
What's wrong?
All that girl was missing was a bottle of Corona. But she gave me that look. Like, she sat back like, why?
Wow.
You don't have... And then she asked me again, tú no tienes hijos? Like, she just had this look of, like, pity. I'm like, girl, you're only 9 years old and you already understand that shit?
Yeah, it's scary.
That you already understand that. And I think that that's the Latina thing, you know? That comes in. Like, there's this 9-year-old girl that's already being groomed for that.
Yeah, like
she understands that. Yeah.
If you don't have a family, it's because there's something wrong with you. And you just can't get pregnant. Yeah. That's what it is.
Yes. Or something's wrong in your relationship.
Oh, yes.
Or something's wrong with, or you're a lesbian.
Yep.
Yes. Yep. One of those 3 things. Do you feel like it's a very Latina thing? Do you think that's a Latina expectation to be about family, to be about having your own family and, like, making that happen?
I feel like that thought process or that feeling, that belief is common in different cultures.
Yeah.
But it feels like, to me, it's prominent in the Hispanic and Black communities. It feels like it, because it almost becomes like a stereotype that you see in shows or in movies. It's like, oh, here comes the Hispanic woman with her 5 kids.
Yeah.
It's like, so you're already seeing it as a stereotype in the media, and it doesn't help that for generations your cousins and your aunts and whatever have started their families at 20, 21 years old.
Yeah. You see that.
And you see that.
And you see that you're the last one to have kids.
Exactly.
And it's like, like you can say it's a stereotype, but it's kind of true.
Exactly.
It kind of is.
And it's frustrating because it's like, for me, I feel like I'm doing what the hashtag is now, living my best life, right? Hashtag living my best life.
Yeah.
Like, this is what works for me, but it feels like I almost feel like an outsider in a way to the Hispanic community and even my family. Because it's like, well, what do we have to bond over?
Oh, yes. What? Right, that's so true.
Yeah.
That is so real. Because I do notice at gatherings and stuff, when they do ask you that question, do you have any kids? It's because they're looking for some sort of connection and conversation. And if you don't, and you try to talk about something else, it's kind of like, well, I don't know about all that shit, that artsy fartsy white people stuff.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. That's for white people. That's for white people. That artsy fartsy stuff, that soul searching stuff, that's for white people. Latinas, we're about taking care of our family, taking care of our mothers, taking care of everyone. We're supposed to be the ones holding it down for our family.
Exactly.
In terms of keeping things together.
It's like when I'm not around my family, I feel like myself.
Yeah.
And when I'm around my family, I feel like an entitled millennial.
Me too.
I feel like when I'm on my shit, when I'm focused, I feel from my perspective, I'm a hustler because I'm doing the side jobs I don't want to do. I'm doing rehearsals right after. I'm learning my lines on my free time. I'm purposely not going out to stay focused on making money and creating a character so somebody else can enjoy it. I'm doing something good.
Yeah.
And then you get with the family, even the ones that are closest, even if they're close to you in age, it's still like, pero what's wrong with you?
What's wrong with you? Yeah. Yeah.
And in those moments, I feel like an entitled millennial because it's here I am actually taking a chance and being like, this is what I want to do.
Yes.
I'm not going to follow the 9 to 5, 3-4 kids, having to be married formula.
Oh my God.
And I don't feel like having the family and doing my thing at the same time.
Yeah.
Right now, I want to be selfish. And I think you mentioned this before. Being an artist, you have to be selfish.
You do have to. You do.
And I want to do that right now.
You kind of do.
And then, but
that doesn't help either. Because as a Latina, being selfish, you can't be selfish.
You can't be selfish.
As a grown Latina woman, that's no.
If that's where I feel not quite Latina.
Yeah.
That's where everything that I've just explained, that's what makes me feel like I'm not quite there. And it's just like, it's frustrating to be Puerto Rican and to be in a country that doesn't even know we're fucking legal and that we're a commonwealth of the US and just sees me as an other, and then to be within my people, whether it's here on the mainland
and they see
or
you
the
as
island,
an other too,
and they see me as an other, and it's like, well, what the where do I fit in?
Belong? Where
do I belong? So what would you like to hear?
What I'd like to hear is when somebody asks, says like, hey, how are you doing? And I'm like, I'm good or whatever. What I don't want them to do is ask me first thing, do you have any kids? Yeah. Like, when are you guys getting married? Any of that shit. I hate those questions. Yeah, when are you planning? Then when are you guys planning? Are you guys planning to? I don't want to hear any of that. What I want to hear is, I see you doing your thing. That is so great. I'm happy for you. I don't get that enough. I don't.
No.
It's usually like, oh, well, you'll figure it out. You'll figure it out, and when you guys get married, things will be great.
Yeah. Yeah.
It'd be nice to hear, you know what? You're doing great.
You're doing great.
You're doing great. You're doing good.
Yeah.
That would be nice to hear.
It would be nice. It would be nice to hear, you know what? Do you?
Do you?
Do you?
What would you want our listeners to walk away with in this topic of, we talked about just not fitting in, especially when it comes to our lifestyles of not having kids at this time, or in your situation, not being in a relationship and choosing. You made the choice to be abstinent. Like, what do you do when you don't fit the
boxes?
Yeah.
Our attempts at trying to figure out our own identities, not only as individuals, but as a community of Latinx or Hispanics in this country, especially with this political climate, the way it's going. We still have a lot of discovery to do. So it's okay not to have an answer yet.
Yeah.
Because I feel like our cultures as a whole have been ignored for so long.
Yeah.
That we don't do this. We don't talk about we don't talk about what it feels like to be a Hispanic in America. And we definitely don't see it that often.
We don't.
On TV or in music. This is our honest perspective.
Yes. All right, y'all. We hope you liked our first episode. Until next time.
The population here in the States. I think that was a statistic that I read.
And hopefully with that comes progress, even in how we treat each other. Because it's not like it's white people doing this to us.
No.
We're doing it to each other. As Latina women, we're giving each other that pressure. I don't get it from men. Well, no, actually, sometimes I do get it from men. But
still, like, hopefully we can get to a point where it can be okay to be a successful Hispanic woman or man.
Yeah.
And not have to have one of the first questions be, so do you have a partner? Are you gonna have kids? Because to me that feels like a very personal question.
Yeah, that is.
And to have just any old schmuck come up to me just because you know my family, you think you can ask me that question? That's a little bit too much. So if we can get to that point, but it's gonna take a while.
Yeah, I think so.
For us to figure out what it means for us.
Yeah.
And as a whole.
And until then, I think I would say just, as long as you're happy, as long as you're doing what makes you happy.
Yeah.
You know, until we can figure that out and progress and make things move in terms of the image of what a Latina woman should be. Mm-hmm. Just keep doing what makes you happy and things will come. If you even want a relationship, things will come. Things will happen when they're supposed to happen.
Yeah.
For your family, for your cousins, it worked for them when they were in their 20s. For some of them, it didn't. Which is also another reason why I'm not rushing to have kids, because when a lot of my examples are women who had kids when they weren't necessarily ready for it, and now they're stressing the fuck out.
Yeah.
And that's all I've seen was stress.
Yeah.
And for me, I'm like, I'm already stressed just trying to do me. I want to make sure that when I have kids, that they're in an environment where it's people are doing what they want to do. You know, they have those positive examples of people, of adults in their lives doing something that they want to do. What's that like, you know? And so that's why I'm not doing it quite yet.
I feel like we're the ones that are breaking the cycle of our families.
Yep, we're the black sheep. I feel like I'm totally the black sheep. I was sitting there with my family the other day, with women in my family who are here in Boston. And I'm like, wow, I'm sitting in that table and I'm like, yeah.
I'm different.
I'm totally different from y'all's. And that's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay.
At first it felt kind of like uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But now, like you said.
Or not just uncomfortable, I've tried so hard all my life. I've been trying so hard to try to appease them that I was stressing myself out so much more.
Preach.
And just recently, like literally in the last year, have I been able to vocalize, and I'm still working on it, just vocalize like, you know what? I don't want kids right now because I just don't. Not for any other reason. I just don't feel it right now.
Yeah. Ask me when I'm ovulating. I might tell you, yeah. I have baby fever right now.
Yeah, but I don't right now.
Yeah.
I don't, and that's fine.
And it doesn't make us any less of a woman or any less of a...
Yes, of a Latina.
Of a Hispanic.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that's almost like our family is still trying to process.
Yeah.
Of like, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, still nothing.
But if you keep practicing it and keep wearing it, like, you know what, and I'm good. This is how I feel, and I'm good. Eventually, they'll leave you alone.
Oh, I can't wait for that day.
I think eventually they will.
Yeah.
And they'll just be like, oh, it's just how she is.
Because it's a very uncomfortable conversation to have when you have to explain it.
Girl.
Because it's not even, I don't want it. It's a, I don't want it, and here's X, Y, and Z.
Why? That's exhausting.
It is exhausting. Especially when you have to do it at almost every family function. God. A year has passed.
You still gotta do it again? Oh my God. A year has passed and you're like, actually I'm in the same position. Nothing has changed. And they're like, well, I guess maybe next year. You're like, no. That's when you have to be like, no, stop waiting, because I don't want you to ask me this next year. This is who I am, okay? Accept it.
Punto.
And when it happens, it happens.
Yeah.
But this is what it is. So don't come asking me next year.
Don't come asking me next year.
Because I will give you the same fucking answer if I'm not in the same place. And that is it, yo. Damn. Off my back.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is our honest perspective.
Yes. All right, y'all. We hope you liked our first episode. Until next time.